one more final speaker. He's I'll tell you what he's recently done, but he is a 3-time Hall of Fame producer. You're also how old?
I turned 26.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Joe. 3-time Hall of Fame producer.
It's like a mini annual convention.
Sean's excited. Who 3-time Hall of Fame producer, has a business doing in excess of 1.3 million in 4 weeks, has multiple Hall of Fame producers on his team, has the highest average issue paid per writer over 1 million in the entire company of FFL, and is working really hard for the future that his family will enjoy. Joining us now, Mr. Zac Twardowski. How you doing, buddy?
Good, thanks for having me on, Grady.
I'm happy to have you on. Dude, you were up there and you dropped how to go from a top producer to a top agency manager. And we've been talking a lot on this call about agency building. And I felt it would have been a disservice to not offer it out to everyone who's tuned in today to try to get better. Do you have a few minutes to kind of share what you shared up on stage?
Absolutely.
Thank you, man.
So I think the biggest thing that we've learned in the last year and a half or so, and that's from working with you and Andrew and Sean a lot, is that if you try to be everything to everyone all the time, you're not going to have enough time to get anything done and have productive conversations. So where we can really be good, and that's what I've done a lot with like East and these other groups start growing really fast, is I go, hey, that's a great question. You should ask Grady. You should ask Andrew. You should ask Sean, right? Because one thing, that is always said is familiarity does breed contempt, which does happen, right? But also sometimes you work with someone frequently, they maybe tune out certain things you say, even if you say the exact same thing. And it also buys you a lot of time back, right?
Yeah.
So they've done that a lot on the agency building side. And there's stuff I don't know the answer to, and I think that is more beneficial coming from you. Like, I'm not going to try to talk to someone about how to recruit someone I just met, right? I want you to teach them that because I know you're better at it than I am, right? Likewise, like I want Jordan to explain, how the structure of FFL works because I know he's better at it than me. So I get my agents to talk to them because I know they can explain it better. And then on a smaller level, when you're just teaching agents how to sell, if you can get really good at, rather than spending, 30, 45 minutes going through every single in-home, you're like, hey, you messed up this part of the in-home. Why don't you check out this video Eric Schmidt did where he breaks down how to go through how to set up your appointment. If you have any questions from that call, why don't you give me a call back and we can go back through it. And then people don't have any questions on it because I know which videos we're sending them and I know that it's something beneficial and specific. Yeah. It's not some rah-rah thing. It's Eric breaking down exactly how he goes through his in-home because he's very good at sales, right? And then they don't call me back because like that answered all the questions I had with my in-home, right? So those are kind of some of the things that when you're a personal producer, you can spend a lot of time with people. When you're just learning how to sell, you can have a lot of one-on-one conversations. But if you want to scale and grow a business, you have to get good at being able to delegate things and be efficient with your time. Because I can have a bunch of 5-minute conversations with Grady and 20 other agents about, hey, check out this video, watch this thing. This is what you're struggling with. Look here. Oh, your lead flow is not good. Watch this video. Your phone script sucks. Why don't you listen to Easton and Dom? You can do that 100 times a day. But I can only have maybe 5 or 6 conversations a day that are an hour long each, where I go through what my phone script would be. And then I go through and I'm like, hey, why don't you dial and I'll listen to you? Like, that's very counterproductive and very time wasting. And in order to scale a business like you guys have, you have to get good at having other people, lean on other people and lean on all of our resources. Yeah. So that was a big mindset shift for me because I thought I was gonna have to be the one going through every in-home and going through everyone that was in the house. I thought I was gonna have to answer their health questions. Like the way to do underwriting is write a Americo and call someone if it doesn't get approved, right? Like within reason. Yeah. But like seriously, that's what we do. Did you try Americo? No, we'll run it through and see if, as long as it makes sense, of course, right? But we can simplify a lot of things and we overcomplicate a lot of stuff. And that's why I was hesitant to hire in the beginning because I thought I was gonna have to do every little thing for every person. And it's very selfish because I learned the business, the same way as you did, is I watched Dom dial the phone because he's good at dialing the phone. I watched, Paul McLean and Andrew Taylor's in-homes. Mm-hmm. I listened to you speak about how to build a business and then I copied it. So all we can do as managers is get good at showing people the resources we already know that worked and taught us how to build the business.
I agree. So say that this group is your brand new agents. What would be some action steps that, let's just say they're all like first, second week, what would be some advice? Because maybe some people need a restart, right? If they've been going, doesn't feel good. They're like, all right, I'm going to get on this call and we're going to see if I can get these final things. Let's pretend these people are your agents or you're talking to one of them out there, Jim, and you want to help him kind of have some stepping stones or a checklist to be successful this week.
So I think like if you're trying, your goal is to write $30,000, $40,000 a month and you're not there already, it can only be one of 3 things, right? Either you don't have enough leads, you don't dial the phone enough, or you're not getting help if you're getting in the home. You're not asking and trying to get better when you're in the home, right?
Okay.
So what does lead flow mean? Let's say like if you're newer and you only have $1,000 to spend on leads a week, then you should get 200 to 300 1-month internet leads and 3-month internet leads a week.
Okay.
Because you can definitely flip that into, $10,000, $15,000 if you work them hard. The real answer is you need as many leads as it takes for you to get 15 appointments over the next 2 days. Because if you can run 30 appointments a week, then anyone can have success doing this, right? And I was talking with Frank yesterday. He's like, why did your issue pay go from 4 to 5 to 7? I'm like, I just kept running the same amount of appointments I always ran. And you get more confident, you know which appointments to stay in and out of, right? And you know where you can actually work and make money, and then you get out of other appointments quickly. So your only goal as a new producer should be how quickly can I get to the point where I can run 30 appointments a week? And then everyone's lead flow may be different with that. If you're not as good on the phone, you need to buy some more leads. Whereas a lot of people early on, they go, I'm going to just dip my toes in and only buy a couple $100 worth of leads, where really you're going to need more leads early on.
Yeah.
And then as you get better, you can do things like you'll be more efficient on the phone, but you can also get referrals, do annual reviews, all these things. So over time, your lead bill will go down. Whereas so most people think of it the opposite way, like, oh, I'll buy more when I have more money. It's like, no, you need to buy more leads so that you have more money, right? Yeah. And I think in a perfect world, maybe you could get 100 instant internet leads a week. You run a couple of Facebook leads a week, and then you get as many mailers as you can get a week. And then that way you have your 30 appointments you can't miss. Now, all top and Hall of Fame producers, everyone spends $2,000 to $2,400 a week on leads, right?
Yep.
All of them. Is that uncomfortable? Yeah, it is. But it's much more uncomfortable to be broke, quite frankly, right?
Yeah.
And we had a group that we just met with Sean with, and one of the agents is someone I've known for a long time, but he was in the military. He's like very good. He's like, I'm just gonna do whatever you say exactly, right? And he issued 52 grand his first 4 weeks in the business.
Amazing.
And Sean asked him, how much are you spending on leads a week? And he's like, I don't know, somewhere between 2,000 to 3,000 with work spots, maybe 1,500. But he's spending $2,000 to $3,000 a week on leads, and he has no idea what he's doing in the field, right? He just goes in there, keeps it crazy simple. Hey, I assume you filled this out because you don't get a burden on someone. Is that correct? Yep. Okay, cool. And then he runs through his in-home. Hey, Zach, what do I write for this person? Got it. He did that like 3 or 4 times, and he's not like the smartest person in the world, but he works really hard. He's like, okay, I saw the 3 or 4 different scenarios. I don't got to call in every single house unless it gets declined for whatever reason, right? But like anyone could have that trajectory. But the flip side of it is, are you willing to make 1,000 dials in a day?
Yeah.
Right. Which takes, so step 2 is, are you dialing enough? Which means, are you starting at 7:30 in the morning? Are you buying leads? So the biggest thing that bothers me.
That was one of my favorite things that you did. 7:30 in the morning.
7:30 in the morning. Like, why is that? Like, so everyone understands that telemarketers and call centers are not going to start calling until 9 a.m. Right. So I would like to get at least an hour and a half of calls in before everyone else starts calling, right? Or if the average agent starts at 9 or 10 and I start at 7:30, I'm definitely going to beat everyone, even if I'm a lot less proficient on the phone and a lot less skilled, just by outworking everyone. It's not that hard. Wake up at 4:30, go to the gym, get organized, get to the office by 7, and start dialing at 7:30. Anyone can do that, right? But most people choose not to. So start dialing at 7:30. And then if you can make it, I mean, a lot of times what I realized is I would have 12, 13, 14, 15 appointments booked by 9 a.m. And then what does that do? It allows you to go through and start building your business, work on other things. The other thing that I don't recommend people do, like I've heard have you heard where people go, hey, you start at 7:30, dial till 9, and then dial from 11 to 11:15, because that's a sweet spot. And then from 4 to 6, right? Like, it's silly. So like what I always did is I started at 7:30 and I dialed straight through till I was done, right? I'm like, I need a drink of water. Well, I can do that when I'm done dialing.
That's good, bro.
Because I didn't hate anything more than dialing Monday morning. The other thing I hated more than dialing Monday morning was dialing Monday at 8 p.m. because I wanted to be done for the day, right? And I wanted to be working on building my business and things that would build passive income. So how many dials do you need to make? As many dials until you have 15 appointments for the next 2 days minimally. And if you can hold yourself to be accountable with that, you'll have a lot of success. If you let yourself off the hook and set 6 or 7 appointments, I don't know, you may not make it in this business because you'll have up and down days. Like for instance, Grady, the other week, it was 2 weeks ago, Jay Conan wrote $107,000 in March. And then he went 0 for 15 in the first week of April. And then he went 0 for 8 the next day. And then on Wednesday, he went like 10 for 10 and wrote like 16 grand. But someone who's the number 2 agent in the whole company went 0 for what, 24?
Yeah.
0 for 24. And he's number 2 overall in the company, right? So if it can happen to him, it can happen to you, but it won't if you run 30 appointments a week. And he'll still finish this month about 60,000 issue paid with having that first week where he went 0 for 24. Okay. So and what he does though is he dials until he has his 15 appointments. And then the third thing is, I guess you call it training or whatever you're studying to get better, how to get better. And how you do that is you get on these calls, you go to the conferences like the one we're at today, you go to annual convention, you get on the TNL, all that stuff is great, but you have to go above and beyond that. So you find people you resonate with. Like for me, I like the way that Andrew did his in-home. I was like, it's simple. He says he closes 25%. I resonate with that because me too, right? So I copied his training. And then when you get good and you get more confident, then you can put your own spin on things. But find someone that you can relate to, and then find someone that's selling a lot, that's willing to work with you, because there will be someone, and you guys have enough people that kill it in the field. And then in order to not waste their time, when you call for help with your appointment, have your inventory sheet out, go, hey, this, and this is what happened. This is their scenario. This is what I said. Where did I screw up? And then Grady can quickly tell you within 5 minutes, you couldn't have sold that one. They just didn't like you, or, hey, you said this wrong. This is why they didn't buy from you. And then it takes 5-10 minutes. You're on and off the phone. You implement what they say. And then if you have good activity, you're sitting with a lot of people. So you buy enough leads, right? You're dialing enough, so every 30 appointments a week. The easiest one to fix is the last one, where you're not closing a lot, right? Because then Grady can go, oh, all you have to do here is say this word track instead of this one. Or Jordan can say, you say this instead of this here, and you're going to close that one.
That's the easiest to
That's
fix.
the easiest one to fix,
dude.
I love number 3. If I get a number 3, I'm like, that's like Easton and me.
I can't get any appointments.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't figure out the leads.
Yeah,
I don't know how the CRM
I don't
works.
know. I mean,
I don't know, dude. If you can't figure out the CM works, he's probably not going to make it.
The other thing I will say about, I've heard people say, because y'all live in, a lot of your guys are in Phoenix and a lot of our guys in Denver, and people will say to me, it's hard for me to get enough leads, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what I say to that is there's a bunch of agents who get enough leads only from the CRM in those areas. But what they do differently is that they wake up at 4 a.m. and check the CRM every day. I have one agent named Johnny who checks the CRM every single day at 4 a.m. he said, and then right before he goes to bed. And he always has 200 leads to dial every time. And he lives in Denver. So, I mean,
What's the agenda?
so I guess the point is you can make it work if you are intentional, check the CRM every day. Like where you won't make it work is if on Monday morning at 9 a.m. you go, I'm going to get leads in Maricopa County. No, you're not. You're going to get leads at 9 a.m. Monday morning in Denver County. No, you're not. But can we be a little bit intentional and treat this like a real business, and you'll have a lot of success?
Yeah, there's hundreds of leads that come in Arizona a day. There's just
if you sit there and refresh it in the CRM, you'll see 70, 80
long.
leads get dumped in there. But if you're lazy and don't check it, then you're not, and it's going to be a tough life.
10:30, you log in the CRM and you're like, there's no leads. You're like, okay, well, you know,
because you're being the average person.
Because everyone is up at 4:30 buying, getting leads taken care of. So Zach, dude, these are tremendous tips. I really appreciate you coming on. Your growth is rocking, and you got some phenomenal producers, and I'm super excited to see your guys continue to run up leaderboards.
Thank you for having me, Grady.
Thank you. Appreciate you. All right, everybody. Right now, active work spots coupon. Message Fabiana Valentina in the app. Get yourself your 50% off coupon and save thousands and thousands of dollars on a single lead order for $99. No reason we shouldn't have every single person on our team who's a user. But also getting the offices. Sean said earlier today that we are just eclipsed 100 offices nationwide, on track to get to 400 offices. So it's a big goal for the company. It's going to set us up, have the proper infrastructure to continue to hit to march towards $1 billion. And couldn't be prouder each and every day to work with you guys. So make it a great day. Reach out if you need anything. Bye for now.